Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.
Welcome to Lanterns Live. It's Ralph, and this is the only YouTube channel live stream show dedicated to Green Lantern and Green Lantern only. For those of you looking to watch the Superman trailer that was just dropped by DC, I'm not going to watch it all. I'm only concerned about the Green Lantern footage that we got, and so I'm going to be covering that today. And as a reminder, I will be on later today with Vactor discussing Green Lantern Corps issue 4 by Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams. So let's take a look at this. I just grabbed this footage and I'm going to present it live. I'm going to upload a video file, and this is just the Guy Gardner footage. Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner, who it was just announced that he's going to be in Peacemaker Season 2. Oh boy. Let's see. I can't upload my file. So maybe I might actually just pop open the what do you call it? The video from YouTube. So let me go grab that. You know, sometimes things just don't work out, and I don't know why, and it bothers me. DC official trailer. I had it all slowed down, and I had slow-mo footage of this stuff. So let me geez Louise, present. Let's try this file one more time. See if I can't get it to go. Yeah, it's not going. So let me grab. Wow, this sucks, man. Share screen. Okay, allow the window. Let me open this up, put that in a different window. Yeah, this isn't fun. Let me do a pop out. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Share audio. Okay, here we go. All right. So here's the Superman trailer. I'm going to try to, and it looks like you can see my cursor. So that's good. That's good. We're going to cut straight to the Green Lantern stuff. But man, this is going to look extra blurry, isn't it? Yeah. What happens when you do a live stream and technology doesn't want to play nice. I'd like to thank StreamYard for all the stuff they do for me, but holy moly. You think a video file would work. We're going to take a quick look here. I forget where the other shot is. Yes, it's going to be so hard to find this stuff in this mess. There's a little bit of a Green Lantern shot in that shot out the window. You just see a green dude flying around. Let me keep this up here. I'm going to try to get this file working again because it'll make things go much easier. But while I do that, okay, you need to hide. Okay. While I do that, I want to talk about the trailer in general. I'm really excited that this trailer is discussing hope. I like that. It's almost, it's funny because it takes place in sort of a reality in which news is really about digging up dirt, which is not something I like. And just seeing Lois be a journalist, like just flat out being a journalist, and a journalist of today, where they're questioning, like, here's a guy, Superman, who is clearly trying to do something good. He's really trying to be good. He says he's saving lives, and it's the media, someone he knows, saying, like, looking for the negative angle on things. And it's really, man, it's still not working. This is going to make me frustrated. You get to see how I act when I'm frustrated, when things don't work. Let me go ahead and try this. Try this as a file. But she's not giving him, like, the benefit of the doubt. She's not, like, treating him as a friend. She's treating him the way that real news outlets treat everybody that they interview. She had to ask the hard questions. She has to do that. It's her job, and it makes sense. But I feel like Clark is so naive in this that he's just like, you could tell, like, he's excited to be interviewed as Superman. Like, he's able to, like, get all this stuff off his chest, and he's relying on a friend that he trusts to conduct a fluff piece. And she's like, no, I'm a journalist. I'm not gonna like, you know, ruin my reputation or anything. I'm not going to do a fluff piece. That's not what Lois is. She's headstrong. And what I like about this too is that Lois clearly at some point in this movie, or before this movie that starts, knows that Clark is Superman, which I always liked. I always understood that the secret identity thing and protecting like your loved ones and stuff. But here we go. Here we go. But she's a journalist. She's smarter than that. Like, it's great. It's great. All the Superman stuff in here is amazing. I like that. A lot of this trailer shows hope. It's Superman getting mad because he's like, I'm saving lives. Like, is that not enough? Is that not enough for people to like me or accept me? It also goes back to, like, the Zack Snyder thing. Anybody who disliked the Zack Snyder movies, especially Man of Steel, where he kills Zod, people are like, but Superman doesn't kill. And this is showing, like, a kaiju about to step on a woman, and Superman swoops in and saves them. So it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's kind of a little bit meta, but it's almost saying, like, hey, with the title just being Superman, and here we are in this new DC Studios world, like, this is a reset. Not only a reset of the DC Studio cinematic universe, but it's a reset of what Superman means. Mr. DC Comics says he liked the trailer. Vactor, nice hat, Ralph Vactor. I'll see you later on to discuss Green Lantern Corps 4. Yeah, I like this hat too, but it's kind of shrinking a little, so I don't really wear it a lot. It's an old hat, and I could use an updated Green Lantern hat. Clone Avenger, yes. Clone Avenger says, I love his voice transition from Clark to Superman. It was perfect. It was amazing when he's saying what she asked, like, oh, are you you're going to interview as Superman? He sits down and his voice changes as he says he's going to do that. Let's look at some Guy Gardner footage. There's two main shots in here that I want to discuss. I've slowed these down. Again, I'm not watching the whole trailer, so if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. Come back here. I'll be talking about this for a little bit. But here is the first shot we get. It's like a quick shot. This shot is like maybe a second long, not even like a split second long. And I slowed it down 50% so we can get a really good look at this. We have Guy Gardner in the foreground, and front and center, there he is, with Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific behind. Now, we've seen, if you go back and watch the leaked set footage, or the leaked set photos of the set, You see these three people in a park landing, presumably after this kaiju fight. I don't think Guy's going to be in this movie a lot. We've seen such little, and I know this is Superman, so you're not going to get a ton of Green Lantern in there, let alone Guy Gardner. But this is a great shot. You could see the ring, you could see the suit. I think this is the best look at Guy Gardner that we've seen. Creative Brian says he feels like he's seen the whole movie in the trailer. That's the thing with watching trailers these days. They tend to spoil stuff. They tend to like show you a lot, but I feel like James Gunn may have a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Again, there were, I mean, not to spoil stuff, but there were set photos where they brought a squirrel onto the set, a live squirrel onto the set. And we had David Cornsweet talking to that squirrel. We don't know if that's a take from the movie. We don't know what's up with that squirrel. I think it's Chip. I think it's a reference material so that so Weta or whoever's doing the animal effects can do a live action version, a CG version of Chip. So like, I'm just going to flat out say it. If Chip is in this movie, that this shot right here is deceptive. That Chip would be up in this top left corner over Guy's shoulder. That's just me. That is a theory. I don't know if that's true, but just come back here after we see the movie. Speaking of which, I got invited to a preview of Superman, so hopefully I'll get to see this and report back really early, right before it releases. And I don't know what I'll be able to say or not say, but I'll do a spoiler-free review for you guys as soon as I see the movie. But looking at this image, I love the glow of the ring. It looks great. The suit, it's growing on me. It's really growing on me. That is definitely a vest he's wearing. As you can see, it's separated from his shoulders, so it's like a vest and the long sleeve underneath. That's pretty cool. Mr. DC Comics says, and this isn't me. I'm fine with the MCU. I'm not a DC versus MC Marvel guy. But he says the thing I always disliked about the MCU is that all the characters seem to be embarrassed to be superheroes, whereas this trailer embraces it. Yeah, that's one of the things I liked about the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's movie, is that they really just like no explanation, just wore costumes that look like the comic book costumes. It seems like in the MCU, they always have to like sort of treat the costumes as like, oh, it's kind of, we know it's silly, but here you go. Whereas this is just like, no, you came to see superheroes. They're in costumes. They never talk about the costumes in the comics. It's just here. And this is one of the things I liked about James Gunn and what this movie looks like. It looks like a DC Comics. If you're currently reading like Green Lantern or Green Lantern Corps, there's other characters from other books that show up, like Blue Beetle. And when I'm reading Green Lantern, Blue Beetle shows up, Mr. Terrific shows up, Plastic Man shows up. All these guys show up for like a panel or two, like Black Lightning shows up, and it's not like questioned. They're just there. So that's what I like about this movie. It looks like it's going to be centered around Superman, but guess what? He lives in a world where other superheroes exist, and they don't all need to be explained. They're just there to help in the fight. And it's up to the audience who doesn't know these characters to get familiar with them by going back and reading the comics. Like, this is going to be the biggest advertisement for Guy Gardner ever. We're also going to see him in Peacemaker and Lanterns. And so it's really nice to be able to just showcase these people, so to speak, so that when kids go see this great movie, hopefully great movie, they'll just be like, who's that guy? I want to read more about that guy. And that guy is Guy Gardner, and he's a complete asshole, which is so funny to me that Guy Gardner is the Green Lantern that is being introduced into DC Studios. It's so great. He's looking for yellow spandex. I don't know who's getting the yellow spandex. Are we going to get Sinestro? Because that would be great. Oh, the yellow spandex. Yeah, that's a line from X-Men, the first X-Men, where Wolverine also shits on the comic book versions. Yeah. Shortbox Sean is here, and he's got his William Hand avatar. I didn't think it was possible for me to get even more excited for this. I'm super excited, and we got 2 shots of Guy Gardner. Yeah. Created Brian, who again has a Captain America shield as his logo. I'm not a fan of DC and Marvel people going head to head. It's fine to like both. I know Kevin Feige is a big, massive DC fan, and he's looking forward to this movie a lot. But he says he prefers the Ironheart trailer over this new Superman trailer. I haven't seen the Ironheart trailer yet. I have to check that out. I wasn't the biggest fan of Wakanda Forever, but I like Ryan Coogler. He's producing that show, and I look forward to that. Let's take a look at this next shot. I'm going to scroll ahead here. And again, I slowed these down 50% because these shots go by in a split second. So there's this. Holy cow. Guys, okay. So we saw in the first Superman teaser, we saw Guy put out his ring. A beam came out to create sort of a window tinting, so to speak, while Superman's down on his luck. This is our first construct, like full-on construct. And again, this is probably a finish effect, whereas the teaser may not have been a finished effect. But let's look at this giant hand coming out of the sand. Guys, look at his hand. Just focus on his hand. It blurs as it comes back down. What am I looking at here? Okay, I've seen this for the first time. But as his hand comes down, right there, his hand disappears and it's blurry. Do you see that? It might be the scan, but knowing Guy Gardner, this is a theory. So come back to this later and say, Ralph, you're wrong, or Ralph, you're right. I have a feeling he's not waving his hand. If this blur is just my rip of this, then that's one thing. But if it's some sort of thing they're doing just for the trailer, I'm wondering if he's giving the middle finger there. Look at that, hand's not right. Is that my footage doing that? I don't know. Go back and watch the 4K version of the trailer. I was here to look at that construct. So this construct, it almost has like a cool like Starfield supernova, like a nebula kind of sparkle in it in the construct. It almost has a shine on it. It kind of looks like flubber, which I'm totally excited with, because the thing is, the constructs are made of light, and here we are in complete daylight. I think one of my issues with the 2011 Ryan Reynolds movie was I thought the constructs looked kind of dark and muddy. They kind of look so disjointed. This looks really cool, though. And I bet you this is like a practical effect as far as what they're doing with the trucks and stuff. I bet you those trucks are really being shot up. But if we can go back to the official trailer and look at that hand to see if that's a weird motion blur thing that's in the trailer or it's something that happened with me. I don't like that guy's flying up in the air. Green Lanterns really aren't supposed to kill. So I'm assuming those guys are okay. But also, again, Guy Gardner has very little respect from anybody. So here we get another good look at the suit in the daytime, because the Peacemaker season 2 trailer, he was in dark. So this is the really, really good look at this suit. I like the green in it. It's a nice dark forest green, and the Green Lantern logo on the arm is the classic like Silver Age Green Lantern logo. It's not even the like Jeff Johns one where the top and bottom bars are tapered in on the sides. So this is great. The bowl cut looks more red than it has in the past. You're getting that direct sunlight, so that's great. All of this looks so good. And again, it's a split-second shot that I slowed down 50%, so that could be me. But that hand, something's up with that hand. Yeah, I should be looking at the construct. But I also do like that the construct's not tethered to the ring. A lot of times the construct will come out of the ring and then make a bat. Sometimes, like in the Green Lantern animated series, usually the constructs were tethered to the ring by some sort of a tether, like a line. And this looks like that he can make his constructs outside of just like it being tethered, because clearly the construct comes from up out of ground and it's not tied to his ring. But holy crap, it looks like he's pretty powerful in this, which makes me happy because Green Lantern should be powerful. Let's see. Mr. DC Comics says, I like it because James Gunn is embracing superheroes being actual superheroes. Yeah, I like this tone for Superman because he's not trying so hard to be Batman. Say what you will about like the Dark Knight trilogy, which is great. It's a great realistic take. I was always a fan of the Burton version, which is just like, hey, Gotham is a weird place, and here's a weird guy in it. It felt more like fantasy, even though it was like, you know, didn't have like wizards and stuff, but it definitely doesn't feel like grounded in the real world. I like the Batman, Matt Reeves movie, because also, although it is grounded in sort of reality and it's very, feels very gritty and real, Gotham feels like a fantastical place. I recently rewatched Donner's Superman, and it kind of drives me nuts that Metropolis is basically just in New York. And Metropolis has a Statue of Liberty and the World Trade Centers and the Empire State Building. Like, they didn't even try to make it something different. What I like about this movie is that Metropolis feels like its own place. It was shot in Cleveland, but they have like, the skyline has like, you know, LexCorp Tower, and it has the Daily Planet. It doesn't look like New York, which I really, really like. So James Gunn is really leaning into, this is a DC comic come to life. And what I like about that is that, like, the way this feels, it doesn't feel super realistic. Like, it's almost like a different dimension or something. Like this isn't happening in, like, you know, Saudi Arabia. I'm sure it's like Coral Maltese or some, you know, fictional place. I like fictional places. Lucha Johnny says that he grew up on the Adam West Batman reruns, but also loved the animated series and the Nolan trilogy. There's room for different interpretations of the same characters. And again, this isn't a Marvel versus DC thing, but the thing I like about DC is that they let their creatives do their own style. So Matt Reeves is doing his style in the DC universe, whereas James Gunn's doing his. And I appreciate, like, I really like Zack Snyder's movies, but it is a different flavor. Much like in comic books, you get one shots. Like right now, there's Absolute Green Lantern that's out, which has a completely different feel than what Jeremy Adams is doing over on the Green Lantern main book and Green Lantern Corps. So that's what I like about DC movies, is they're really embracing, like they hire these directors to do their thing. They're not part of, they don't have to be so uniform looking. It's one of my issues with the MCU is that they all look uniform. But you know, James Gunn here this looks like a James Gunn movie. It looks like it's shot like the Suicide Squad, which is different than the Batman, which is different than Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. Like, I like that you're able to let the artists do their thing, because that's what happens in comic books. It's exactly what happens in comic books. So do we have any more thoughts? I usually do these shows about 20 minutes long when I talk about something that happens for a split second. So I'm glad everybody's joined me. But if you have any thoughts on these two shots, have you noticed anything that I may have missed? Let me know. I love seeing the T-spheres. I think Hawkgirl looks cool with her. It's not a mace, a claymore, I think. I don't know what it's called. But look at that skyline. It doesn't look like Chicago. It doesn't look like New York. It just looks like a city. And then this, again, I love the look of the construct. This is probably a more finished piece. It has like a tactile feel to it. It feels like there's something, like it's almost filled with energy or light. But the back slap, I bet you it's a back slap and then a finger on the way down. That's a guess. That's a pure guess, but something's up with his hand. I don't know if it's an unfinished effect, but by this point, they got to be locked. They got to be completely done. I got to say, I really, really like that they're using the Williams theme. I like that it's a completely different arrangement because when it comes to film music, I was just watching Andor, the season finale last night. And if you watch through the end credits, it goes from the end credits have music from Andor and then go into like more traditional John Williams themes. And the orchestrations are trying to be the same, but they're not. And it sounds a little off. And so for this, I'm glad that they're just like, hey, we're not going to try to replicate John Williams. We're just going to use this theme and do our interpretation of it, maybe a little bit more modern. I think it's an electric guitar. It may be a synth thrown in there. But I really, really like that they're using John Williams music because it does harken back to Donner 77, or it's Donner 79. Superman 79, 78, 79. I think it's 79. But I like that it harkens back to that, which was a Superman that was filled with hope. David Corn Sweat, we get to see him as Clark, as Superman talking, and there are two different sort of voices for that. So we're going to go through these one last time. If anybody has any thoughts, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to be heading out, and I have a comic book to go read, which is Green Lantern Corps issue 4. And I'll be back live later today with Vactor as we discuss more Green Lantern and maybe get his thoughts. He was in here earlier, but get his thoughts on this Superman trailer. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I just want to say until next time, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.